Buddha.
Okay, family, peace. Glad to see you in the building.
He's late.
We're 3 minutes late.
Not my fault.
FORE change is not her fault. What's up? You want to say hi? Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. People. There you go. How y'all doing out there? Black power. There we go. Are they ready? You think they're ready for us?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. She said that you guys are ready, so I gotta go with what she said. She's the next ruler, right? You're gonna rule the world, right? Uh-oh. Look at that. Look at that.
Canvas edition.
Oh, that was crazy.
What am I?
Oh, you did it again.
Eskimo?
Love it. Love it. How's everybody doing here? We do have a very important show for today. We do got a very, very important show. And it entails misogyny. That's a word that gets used here and there. I find it very interesting that in this community, if a brother Polight, for instance, should suggest that some of our people are behaving like animals, and the ones that I made reference to were the ones that are pedophiles, the ones that are guilty of senselessly murdering their own for material objects, the ones that are guilty of raping the women of our community. I identified and labeled these people as animals.
Like animals, and the ones that I made reference to were the ones that are pedophiles, the ones that are guilty of senselessly murdering their own for material objects, the ones that are guilty of raping the women of our community. I identified and labeled these people as animals.
Like animals, and the ones that I made reference to were the ones that are pedophiles, the ones that are guilty of senselessly murdering their own for material objects, the ones that are guilty of raping the women of our community. I identified and labeled these people as animals. And people were in an uproar. No, you can't talk down to your own people because you understand
why are they the way they are. I am talking about the rapists. I'm talking about the pedophiles. I am talking about those practicing genocide against their own kind.
I am talking about the rapists. I'm talking about the pedophiles. I am talking about those practicing genocide against their own kind.
I am talking about the rapists. I'm talking about the pedophiles. I am talking about those practicing genocide against their own kind.
That's right, against their own kind. But there was an uproar, and I said from the beginning that people are behaving the way they're behaving because they have a personal problem with me, and they're not genuine about their concerns about the things that I said. Because then later I asked, what is a better name, or what is a better euphemism for me to use when identifying the guilty pedophile and the guilty rapist in our community?
Because then later I asked, what is a better name, or what is a better euphemism for me to use when identifying the guilty pedophile and the guilty rapist in our community?
Because then later I asked, what is a better name, or what is a better euphemism for me to use when identifying the guilty pedophile and the guilty rapist in our community?
Since animal is too derogatory a term for a rapist in our community.
Since animal is too derogatory a term for a rapist in our community.
Since animal is too derogatory a term for a rapist in our community.
And this went on for weeks and weeks because personally, they don't like me. But then there's another group of guys who walk around town labeling themselves after their religious conceptions. And they say a whole lot more inflammatory, vulgar, and very unnecessary things. But no one says, hey, we need to stop associating with these guys, affiliating with them, stop talking to them, because after all, the things that they say about black women is atrocious. No, I realize when the attack is on the black woman, it gets swept under the rug.
No, I realize when the attack is on the black woman, it gets swept under the rug.
No, I realize when the attack is on the black woman, it gets swept under the rug.
When the attack is on the black woman, it gets swept under the rug. They say, you too biased, why you don't go at the women? Well, the reason I don't go at the women is because the women are already dealing with a level of oppression by men. My moral compass as a man suggests to me that we should hold ourselves accountable as black men. I identify with people being wicked, weak, and sinister. But I'm not going to deal with these ghouls and goblins. See? Even the baby knows it's funny. I will not be doing that.
I get some camera time?
Just a little bit. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. And I'm going to let this beautiful young lady, this naive and very gullible lady for being around Brother Polight, she's not wise enough to make decisions of her own free will and accord. Of course not. She's hypnotized by Brother Polight. Look at her eyes. Look at her. She's in a trance.
And I'm going to let this beautiful young lady, this naive and very gullible lady for being around Brother Polight, she's not wise enough to make decisions of her own free will and accord. Of course not. She's hypnotized by Brother Polight. Look at her eyes. Look at her. She's in a trance.
And I'm going to let this beautiful young lady, this naive and very gullible lady for being around Brother Polight, she's not wise enough to make decisions of her own free will and accord. Of course not. She's hypnotized by Brother Polight. Look at her eyes. Look at her. She's in a trance.
But nonetheless, we're going to put up the talented and the extremely brilliant Ashley, Miss Wright's way. We're going to put her up so she can just give us some insight on what rape culture is and the reason why this is important. Because she uses this phraseology often. There's things that all communities do. All communities have this thing that they say to combat truth in a form of deflection. Take, for instance, if someone from the whole community is absolutely wrong about something that pertains to their sexuality, their first thing is to say, you're homophobic. And I'm like, yo, every time someone disagrees with something that's relevant to your sexuality, it's always a matter of someone being homophobic. Like, really? Like, it's never a matter of the person maybe just being right or having a different perspective. So with men, when a woman particularly says, hey, I don't like that, that's absolutely wrong. Or you're at fault for that, my brother. They say she's a feminist. It's a very tricky word, you know, because it's not actually a bad word, but the connotation now becomes very negative. So the first thing they say is, you're a feminist. And then I'm like, in what way do they mean that? If a woman identifies the inconsistencies or the pitfalls of a man's doctrine as relates to the relationship amongst men and women, if she refutes his claims, if she feels his ideals are very dissenting, like if she feels his dissenting views are asinine, she doesn't get the benefit of a scholarly conversation, the benefit of a healthy diatribe. No, she's called a feminist. She's called one of those women who just hate men, a man hater. But never could she be given the credit of a thinking woman that just has a different perspective from the man that she disagrees with. Well, today, my brothers and sisters, we want to ask you, what do you think about religion? Has religion become the gateway drug for misogyny? Has it given more impetus for chauvinistic men to run wild and falsely educate young brothers in addition to older ones who are just simply upset with their own personal experiences with women? Do you want me to share the videos first? I want you to build real quick, build some steam, get some more people in here, and then I have a plethora of videos, but I will show only 3 or 4, and we're going to get into the conversation.
No one wants to hear from me. I'm a woman. Remember?
I know. It's unfortunate. That's why we'll only have you talk for but so long before I get back on the mic.
You wonder why it is then this eagerness, this push to be a breadwinner and out in the workforce and allowing other people to teach our children than for the mother to be the first teacher. But this is what is being indoctrinated into us. And if we're not careful, if we're not conscious of this, then you end up with a disconnected mother. These videos that then show how men are trying to degrade us, put us down, shame us, that, you know, when Polight brought up rape culture, and this constant thing of making it seem that we are merely tools and objects to be manipulated with, to be played with, that we bring of no value, but to be of a sexual source for man. And then we begin to devalue ourselves. We then as sisters begin to also push that story onto our other sisters. We then devalue them and say they ain't nothing but bitches, that they ain't shit, that they can't do shit. You know, why don't you go suck a dick or something? Don't say that out loud. Sorry. We then devalue them and say they ain't nothing but bitches, that they ain't shit, that they can't do shit. You know, why don't you go suck a dick or something? Don't say that out loud. Sorry.
We then devalue them and say they ain't nothing but bitches, that they ain't shit, that they can't do shit. You know, why don't you go suck a dick or something? Don't say that out loud. Sorry.
So, let us be cognizant of these things. Okay, sorry. I'm like trying to share and listen to my child who keeps going in and out of my lap and putting drinks on the table. I really don't know what. I'm just kind of talking. And why are the kids in the room? The kids are always in the room.
Why are the kids in the room?
Why are the kids in the room?
Well, the kids are in the room at the moment because the parents are here and they love being around us.
Why are the kids in the room? The kids are always in the room.
Why are the kids in the room?
Why are the kids in the room?
Well, the kids are in the room at the moment because the parents are here and they love being around us.
Why are the kids in the room? The kids are always in the room.
Why are the kids in the room?
Where's the kids in the room?
Well, the kids are in the room at the moment because the parents are here and they love being around us.
And so far, so good.
What's the rabbit, Mommy?
We're just making it work. I appreciate the concern, but the fireworks didn't jump off yet. You'll be all right. Just organizing the best tag team you're gonna see out here in the community.
Is lemon, ginger, cayenne.
Lime down.
Lime.
Ginger.
Ginger.
Cayenne. You got
Cayenne.
it. You got it. It's a shot.
It's a shot. Gets rid of all the mucus. Helps the digestion. Really, if you want to have a really good crack, you get about 8 ounces of this right here, and it will set your booty hole on fire. This right here will push it all out.
That's a fact.
8 ounces. If you're really trying to go, 8 ounces. Thumbs up.
See me? I like to get my whiz as much as shots as possible so she can get right later. Woo.
Thumbs up.
See me? I like to get my whiz as much as shots as possible so she can get right later. Woo.
Thumbs up.
See me?
Thumbs up.
I like to get my whiz as much as shots as possible so she can get right later.
Woo. See?
Follow it.
See, this is the alkaline version. This is the holistic health version. I make sure she take those shots so she get right. Shot. And once she get to a 4th ginger shot, she be right. So I'm gonna play some videos for you all. And then we gonna turn
Kale,
up.
apple, ginger.
Kale, apple, ginger. That's right.
Kale, apple, ginger.
Listen, let's let the scripture speak. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, to back up the elder, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying we will eat. 7 means completion. Right.
Case in point, King Solomon had 1,000 women. He had, listen. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines. You know what a concubine is? A woman that you just go and do your business and keep it moving. All right?
Yeah. So this is the day that's fast approaching. And in that day 7 women, which the brother explained it. 7 women shall take hold of one man. One man.
Yes.
All right. Saying we will eat our own bread, meaning they're gonna cook. You don't gotta do.
Now you see the deep shit about this is that it caters a lot to men. What do women get out of it? Just to get raped? What do they get out of it?
Hold on.
Polight said the black woman is God.
That's right. So she ain't about to get raped by no
in your Bible, but we ain't gonna go there.
That woman, you know what? That black woman is God. And no God,
How do you figure?
no culture, no community is about to accept that God would have been alright with a woman being raped. No,
That's your mind. That's your mind.
my mind.
That was my mind.
That's my That's my,
I thought the same
That's
thing.
not being a man.
I thought the same thing.
A man, a husband, and a father wouldn't condone no doctrine that say at 12 years old or any age that it's permissible for someone to be raped.
So give me judges. What is judges?
No sane man is going to accept the doctrine at this point.
According to who?
You see, they said I was intelligent, but the truth is not with me. But this shit just got insane. Now I let them pass with the fish that ate a whole nigga. I let them pass with that shit. But you ain't getting the rape pass.
Open up. He gonna be flying, man. It's like Neo.
That's right. That's right. Well, let me keep going. We have to ask you a question.
Well,
How many of your fathers here? Just be for real. If you're a father. Now, what if someone is overwhelmed by the spirit of the Most High God, and he reads your scripture, and he take your daughter, and he just raped your daughter? What do you say to that? If he live like you live, walk like you walk, talk like you talk, because y'all live amongst each other.
Yeah.
Y'all live amongst each other. So what happens when one of y'all feels so overwhelmed by the spirit of God that when you see one of each other's daughters, you just grab her up? You gonna tell one of these brothers here, come on, you know the doctrine. You know how it get when you get.
Well, answer it.
We just told you that how would y'all respond? This time,
If it did happen, you would allow it to happen. Why? Because you go back to the scriptures.
You're supposed to be a brother.
Hold on. You would allow one of your brothers to rape your daughter?
You say rape as if rape simply means to grab.
No. You talking about? No, we read the verse. No, when someone was
In the kingdom of heaven,
No, we read the verse, man.
when the kingdom is established, we're gonna get women when they 12 years old.
Right.
All right. As soon as they start in the kingdom of heaven, when their period starts, that's when they become a woman.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna deal with them when their period starts.
Right.
When their monthly starts.
Question.
Have sex with them. Have babies, man. With 12-year-olds. Brother, there's in the kingdom, we're gonna do that, man. We're gonna get them young. We're gonna get them young. The kingdom is right here, but the Most High is gonna establish the kingdom. Right?
You say something.
Don't look up in Google women that were pregnant under the age of 12. Eve become a woman?
At what age did she become a woman?
It doesn't tell you whenever she got a period. The same thing with marriage.
I got
right?
answer right here. I got
So
your answer
hold
right here.
on, 12 years old. Hold up, 12 years old.
Hold up, the elder got the answer. Okay, this is how old Eve was? No, not Eve, but this is general as far as
the
a
woman
woman.
created for the brother acts? I think that's a good question.
We'll answer that.
1 Corinthians 7 and 35.
I can answer that one.
And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that you may attend upon the Lord without distraction. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely towards his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not, let them marry. Now when does a woman have the flower of age? The flower of age is a period.
Men, if they saw a woman that they like, they can grab the woman up and rape the woman, man. And we're gonna read the scriptures. Let me say this. Most women dream about that.
It's true. It's
All
true.
right?
If somebody was to rape your grandbaby that's 12 years old, you will be all right with that, God forbid. You will be all right
In
with
the kingdom, I couldn't do nothing about it in the kingdom. In the kingdom is
What do you mean by the kingdom? This is getting crazy, man. No God,
How do you figure?
no culture, no community is about to accept that God would have been all right with a woman being raped. No,
How do you figure
because
that?
that's your mind. That's your
that's
mind.
not my mind.
That was my mind.
That's my
That's your
father. That's my being a
I thought the same
That's why I'm being a
thing.
man.
I thought the same thing.
A man, a husband, and a father wouldn't condone no doctrine that say at 12 years old or any age that it's permissible for someone to be raped.
Don't give me judges. What is it? Judges 17.
No sane man.
You can't beat her, you can't kill her. What do? You call her a bitch. And brother, you do it. You do it until, do it until it strikes home. Do it with every sentence. Do it like it's an exclamation point. Do it, shut up, bitch. This bitch, something that bitch. Do it like it's her name. Do it. Just keep saying it. Keep doing it until she just cannot take it anymore. Give her something to feel. Bitch. That's your kids here. And your kids come in the room and say, son, I'm saying this to your mother. You remember this. Never let a woman take away your courage. Take away your honor. Never do it. You do this when you grow up. If you have the misfortune to marry a woman that says things like your mother says to me. You let your sons hear it. Let your daughters hear what they should. Let's go one more time, y'all. This is great stuff. Because I was horrible for saying that our people are behaving like animals when they kill each other senselessly or they rape each other. I was called all sorts of coon and agent, but you gotta remember what the white man did, brother. Don't call your people that. Don't talk down on your people. I'm talking about rapists. Don't talk down on your people. So let's watch this. Now, what do? You're married to her. You can't divorce her. You can't beat her. You can't kill her. What do? You call her a bitch. And brother, you do it. You do it until, do it until it strikes home. Do it with every sentence. Do it like it's an exclamation point. Do it, shut up, bitch. This bitch, something that bitch. Do it like it's her name. Do it. Just keep saying it. Keep doing it until she just cannot take it anymore. Give her something to feel. Bitch. That's your kids here. And your kids come in the room and say, son, I'm saying this to your mother. You remember this. Never let a woman take away your courage. Take away your honor. Never do it. You do this when you grow up. If you have the misfortune to marry a woman that says things like your mother says to me. You let your sons hear it. Let your daughters hear what they should. One more time, family. I can't get enough of this. One more time, because this is intriguing. What do? You're married to her. You can't divorce her. You can't beat her. You can't kill her. What do? You call her a bitch. There you go. What do? In the name of the Lord. In the name of the Lord. In the name of the Lord, the high priest has spoken. Of course, Polight is wicked for saying some of our people behave like animals. Some of the killers and the pedophiles. Oh no, don't call them animals. The white man made them like that. And who made this guy? According to him, let's see. Listen, you can't beat her, you can't kill her. What do? You call her a bitch. And brother, you do it until, do it until it strikes home. Do it with every sentence. Do it like it's an exclamation point. Do it, shut up, bitch. This bitch, something that bitch. Do it like it's her name. Just keep saying it. Keep doing it until she just cannot take it anymore. Give her something to feel. Bitch. That's your kids here. And your kids come in the room and say, son, I'm saying this to your mother. You remember this. Never let a woman take away your courage. Take away your honor. Never do it. You do this when you grow up. If you have the misfortune to marry a woman that says things like your mother says to me. You let your sons hear it. Let your daughters hear. Am I correct so far?
Yes, sir.
I don't understand. Is your mother the devil or she's not the devil?
She is the devil.
So your mother is the devil because she's white.
Yeah, she's the devil because of the men that she descends from.
And would I be wrong if I wish death to the white race?
Of course not.
So would I be wrong if I wish death to your mother?
No.
I killed your mother.
No.
Come on, man. What the hell is this, man?
See, now, I gotta, you have to allow me to elaborate now, because here's the thing. Here's the problem with our people as a whole, emotions. Everybody is relying upon emotion.
So, what can we gather from all of this? What did we learn today? According to the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is taught by these different Hebrews from various sects, that if you're mixed seed and your mama's white, you can kill your mama. No. You can allow another brother to kill your mama. Hold on. We're gonna get this thing right. Hello? What's up? Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, a death threat by Hebrews. Let's go. I love it. Yeah, hopefully he gets the link when we put it into the chat.
Wait, what did he just
Well, he might as well kill me, because I mean, these guys, if you're allowed to kill their mothers and rape 9-year-old children and read from the scripture and realize, I need to call my black woman a bitch, because after all, it emancipates me. It makes my teeth white. All I gotta do is just call her a bitch, because I'm showing signs of courage, damn it. Never let a woman take your courage, son. Watch your big, manly man father call your mommy bitch to restore my vigor and my grace as a man. Yo, don't let her take your courage, son. I'll whip your behind. You better see your mama as a bitch, boy. And when you get older, you better allow niggas to kill her, boy. All the woman does is just sit there and let the children come through.
Is that really the teaching?
This is all true.
God.
And you don't have the right to teach from the scripture or teach about the scripture unless you're talking to your children. But you don't have the right to teach the man from the scripture. Now, I'm not making these things up. I got this all recorded and documented.
I think I've heard that before. I remember that.
Yeah, you have no right teaching spiritual precepts and principles to your man. Bitch, please!
Or to any man, right?
Yo, call her a bitch till your chest come out. Restore your courage, black man. Yo, he reading from the scriptures too. I ain't never seen none of these things from the scriptures. I mean, hey, our community, we need this. Why not? We need the mixed children killing their mamas, or giving people the pass to kill their mamas. We need brothers to show their little boys and little girls, their children, how to curse out their mother until she can't even take it no more. That means to have a state of discombobulation. That means to have her so debilitated from verbal abuse that she just only conform to the weak and wicked mindset of the black man that has to castigate her before her own children. He said, say it after every word, say it after every turn. And y'all need to check out that website so you can see the video in full. So you don't think I'm fabricating anything. Because that's what people say, well, you gotta see the whole thing, brother. Like, you can't just judge the Bible by one verse. You can't just judge a video by 60 seconds, brother. So see if I fabricated anything, because in fact, I left out. I left out the parts where you can't get a job because of her. Because she's so mean to you and talking so nasty to you. How you gonna get a job? She's talking all down to you like that. I'm not saying these things. I'm paraphrasing. You can't get a job, black man, because she talks so mean to you. Now, he didn't say the word mean. That's my interpolation. It's because she's speaking so mean to you. She's disabling you as a black man from being able to go out there and get a job. So what you need to do to combat yourself is to call her a bitch. Oh yeah, that's the remedy. And call her it so much, because she's married to you, so she ain't supposed to leave according to the law. So she's married to you. You can't beat her. You can't kill her. But damn it, you can certainly call her a bitch and do it until she can't take it no more. Now, ain't nobody mad at these brothers. Everybody's like, yo, let's get it. Let's continue to talk and hang out with these guys. Now, I ain't mad. I'm just interested in this phenomena where Brother Polight says, yo, some of our people acting like animals, particularly the ones that are guilty of rape. Oh no, brother, you gotta see who the white man created the condition, brother. So when a black man tells his children, listen here, I want you to see me call mama a bitch, the white man's responsible for that black man telling his black woman off and calling her all these derogatory names in front of her children, his children, their children. Maybe the Bible's no good, y'all. It's only people with the Bible teaching these doctrines. I don't see people in the RBG community, the Pan-African community, the Marcus Garvey groups, the Black Panther parties, the NCSDs, the Real Black Atheists, New Covenant. I don't see none of us coming up with these philosophies. Now, the Hebrews may say, well, this is what Kemet teach, but if you come to the people, the human beings that exist today, we don't be on that bugged out stuff. They have to say, yo, this is what they did in past, but we talking to y'all about what y'all doing today. That's what we talking about. These doctrines are very weird. They're crazy, y'all. They're crazy. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Shit's crazy. It just got crazy. This shit make me paranoid, makes me watch my back. I start wondering when I'm walking down the block, which one of you Negroes would really be down with this? Because
they're crazy, y'all. They're crazy. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This shit's crazy. It just got crazy. This shit make me paranoid, makes me watch my back. I start wondering when I'm walking down the block, which one of you Negroes would really be down with this? Because
They're crazy, y'all. They're crazy. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Shit is crazy. It just got crazy. This shit make me paranoid, makes me watch my back. I start wondering when I'm walking down the block, which one of you Negroes would really be down with this? Because
what's up? Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, a death threat by Hebrews. Let's go. I love it.
wait, he just
Yeah, hopefully he gets the link when we put it into the chat.
Wait, what did he just
Well, he might as well kill me because, I mean, these guys, if you're allowed to kill their mothers and rape 9-year-old children and read from the scripture and realize, I need to call my black woman a bitch because, after all, it emancipates me. It makes my teeth white. All I gotta do is just call her a bitch because I'm showing signs of courage, damn it. Never let a woman take your courage, son. Watch your big, manly man father call your mommy bitch to restore my vigor and my grace as a man. It's because the people who teaching it are ignorant. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. The only hope I had for the Hebrew community was Guerrilla Hebrew. And all I gotta do is make sure I don't talk about his white mama. And he got a fighting chance to have me say, okay, I'll listen to this brother. Because he's sharp. He's very sharp. I don't know about the rest of you brothers now. That brother's sharp, but we're gonna catch him slipping every time. Because if his mama supposed to die, then surely he should be dead too. Because if we are supposed to kill the white baby mama that gave birth to the mixed child, I would have to ask, should we kill the white mother before she gives birth to children? Quick, let's kill her quick because white people should be dead. Let's kill her quick. Because if we should kill the white woman to make sure she don't even breed more children, then Gorilla should kill himself.
is he not considered white?
No, he's considered, they get their spirit and their bloodline from their father. Their nature and everything's from father. So he don't inherit no devil traits according to him.
Got it.
Because everything comes from his father.
Got it. Okay. So his mother was merely just a portal.
She's just a portal.
She was just a surrogate.
Just a womb.
Just a
She's
womb.
a surrogate parent.
Got it.
Those the biological parent at the same time.
If they're white. If they're black.
If they're white.
If they're black, they're just a bitch.
If they're black, they're a bitch.
But
If they're white, they're the devil, and I'm not affected by it anyway because, after all, I came through by way of my father.
Got it.
Because according to them, the egg is dead, the sperm is life. All the woman does is just sit there and let the children come through.
Is that really the teaching?
This is all true. If they had 3 members, I would say they had 3 members too many. How you get membership teaching this? Or do you get so deep into it that one day you realize, oh shit just got real? But I think that the doctrine caters to men who probably are having struggles connecting with women. That's what I believe. Or men that's just very angry with women, probably broke up with them on Valentine's Day when it was 14 years old and never got over it. Just call her bitch. Make sure your children are out. Make sure your daughter is there. Never let no woman take your courage. Call her a bitch. I'm like, yo, hold on. And you got these guys in the background. When you watch the full video, please watch the full video. They're in the background.
Say it like it's her name.
Say it like it's her name. Say it after every word, every other word.
Exclamation mark. Bitch.
Call her. I mean, and the way he did it, he almost swallowed his own lips. That's how emphatic he wants you to say the word bitch. And the abodes of truth. But even more interesting, ain't nobody gonna do a bunch of videos on that. No, everybody's gonna stay friends. They gonna remain friends with these people. Because guess what? So long as you're tearing down the black woman, don't no one give a damn. Make me the center of attraction. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, and you guys may not like it. Whether Gorilla Hebrew's mama is white or not, I don't believe I should have the pass or anyone else to kill his mother based on me if I were the son. I just don't believe in that kind of stuff. But shout out to the brother for keeping it a buck. This is his perspective on the Bible, and this is what he stood on. Fine. Let's talk about the other crazies though. The ones who have daughters, and so long as they mans is Hebrews, they can rape their daughters. What did they say? We gonna get them while they're young, brother. In the kingdom, that's what we gonna do. What freaking kingdom are you talking about? Are you looking to die so you can have sex with 12-year-olds? Where does these ideas come from? According to them, the Bible. And you see why I'm so turned off. All I'm asking is for the true supporters of the Bible to turn up and stop leaving me out there by myself. That's all I'm asking. Stop leaving me out there by myself. Making me feel like I'm the only one that give a damn about this situation. That's what I'm asking.
Stop leaving me out there by myself. Making me feel like I'm the only one that give a damn about this situation. That's what I'm asking.
Stop leaving me out there by myself, making me feel like I'm the only one that give a damn about this situation. That's what I'm asking.
Fine. Let's talk about the other crazies though. The ones who have daughters, and so long as they mans is Hebrews, they can rape their daughters. What did they say? We gonna get them while they're young, brother. In the kingdom, that's what we gonna do. What freaking kingdom are you talking about? Are you looking to die so you can have sex with 12-year-olds?
Fine. Let's talk about the other crazies though. The ones who have daughters, and so long as they mans is Hebrews, they can rape their daughters. What did they say? We gonna get them while they're young, brother. In the kingdom, that's what we're gonna do. What freaking kingdom are you talking about? Are you looking to die so you can have sex with 12-year-olds?
Let's just keep it real, family. This is some crazy stuff. It's crazy. What you think about those videos back to back?
I don't even like. For those who know me, you guys know I spend little time and energy addressing these. I mean, these are the types of things I feel like should be suffocated. It shouldn't even have anywhere to stand on. Though we are always grateful for awareness. Rarely do I find myself trying to like comment on things that I feel are no. I mean, just none that resonates with me at all. But however, it does want me to bring up a point about how he believes that calling you a bitch will make you succumb to his power, succumb to his will. And it's very interesting because oftentimes we've demonstrated that and we start losing our shit. How a man can say bitch and we just start losing our shit. How we start to project the animals that they think they are, the low intelligent beings that they think we are. And so if we understand that that is merely a low intelligent beings that they think we are, and so if we understand that that is merely a low intelligent beings that they think we are, and so if we
So what we're gonna do at this particular moment, we're gonna let our good brothers and sisters get into the chat. We're gonna let you guys weigh in on it. Of course, we'll be right here. Saturday, December 17, 2016. Triumph or Try Trump? Reconstructing the maternal consciousness and socioeconomic disposition of the Black community. Lecture by Miss Wright, Brother Polight, and a live performance by King Los. Got the first set. Got like a starting 9 up in the building. Who's this guy right here? Let's get you out the way, my brother. What you got to talk about? Brother Mike.
Brother Mike.
Let's get it out the way. What's going on, brother? Unmute your mic. What's your name? Where you from?
What's up? Polight, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. What's good, God? Man, I've been trying to get on for a minute. Peace to the family. Let me be respectable first. Peace to you and your family, man. I love seeing y'all together, man. That shit beautiful, bro. I mean, that's beautiful, God. I'm trying to keep the prophetic down. I know, you know, how your audience get.
Where you from? Where you from? What's your name?
Oh, my bag. It's Suave. Suave boss. Brother of struggle from Gary, Indiana, man. Snapping off in the tongue.
Indiana in the building. That's what's up.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We hear you real good, King.
Alright, I'm gonna stand right here. I just wanted to make a couple points, man. Yeah, first I wanted to say, man, seeing you and your family is a beautiful picture, man. I love when y'all all be there at the same time. That's powerful. I wanted to make a couple quick points right quick. This is just what I get on the vision of people, other than what they believe. Because no matter what you believe in, certain diets heal people, certain diets kill people, certain geological locations, I think, benefit people, others. So to divide humans, I would divide them by what is your natural diet that puts your body at peak performance, and where does that food naturally grow on Earth?
Mm-hmm. I like can hear you. I for one understand where you're coming from. For example, when we talk about, you know, often people are preaching the message of everyone should be vegan. You know what I'm saying? But what about the people in Alaska who thrive on the different pieces of salmon? You know, the vegetation doesn't go high there. But like I said, you have to be very cognizant. When we say people should go vegan or those that have to eat living foods, we have to consider that where our meat is coming from. So here in the U.S., where our harvesting practices are horrendous, you know, in reference to our meat, it's not that the animals are bad. Unfortunately, that we're treating our animals and feeding our animals, but then which poisons them, and then we then eat that, which poisons our system, is the problem. So now we have to be cognizant of how to be more aware of that, and then make the conscious decision on how to move forward with those facts, which then obviously has to say we have to let that meat go. Now, for those who are in Alaska, we're having fresh, you know, land, where their vegetation gets shifted, where by that time it's meat's old, it's withering, it's spoiled. It makes no sense for them to be like, I'm vegan. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So, makes sense. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay, I want to say one more thing right quick. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
As in regards to the natural, I know this is gonna be blow, but you know how they say the man's nipples are they're useless?
Yes. Rudimentary.
What?
Polite talk. That's awesome.
Yeah. If the women's breasts are used to feed the babies, couldn't the men's nipples be used to pacify it?
Woo! I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. I'm a huge component of just let that baby go ahead and laugh. Now, I know that sounds really awkward and things like that, but it is not uncommon for men to be at home with their babies and the baby is hollering because they're a breastfed baby and they don't take pacifiers and they don't take nipples, and they will let that baby latch onto them. It's actually really funny. I tend to go over. Oftentimes it's family jokes, like people.
Hey, Polight, stop. I never did it, bro.
Hell
Stop,
no.
Polight.
Hell no.
Stop, Polight. I never did that, bro.
I see you later.
I never did that, bro. Stop, man.
Get out of here.
What that brother is
Yo,
saying, it is not.
hold on.
Like,
Nah.
because no, like
We had to kick him out.
it has nothing to
Where's your eject button? I'm about to get you out of here.
utilizing who you are and what you have, not having to rely. Anytime the mother say mother was out harvesting, she was doing fruits and gathering or whatnot, and the man had the baby. It's not a big deal to allow the baby to latch on to pacify, and it could be for seconds because the baby's gonna realize, that doesn't really work for me, but they understand that.
So
So I
now
don't let
this is
it go.
what we're gonna say. This is what we're gonna say for that.
As opposed to like I said, it's going back to the natural state. It's working with what you got, and there's no shame with working with what you got. The father is well aware that he's not gonna be able to feed that baby. Trying to feed the baby, just try to pacify a crying baby because the mom's not around for a second.
Hold the baby, tap the baby's back, shake the baby up. This is what I'm gonna tell you. You are a superwoman, right? And this is why you need both people in the household. You know why? So we can find a medium. If the man can't use his nipples for what the woman is using the nipples for, then for me, it stands to reason that he can pass. There has to be something else that black man can do with the baby other than pacify the baby with his nipples. Come on, people. Please, hold on. I'm sorry. This is where we're going wrong in the situation. I'm not telling you that what you're saying is inaccurate. I'm telling you that based on the time we live in, with them manipulating the drugs and the food that is throwing off our hormonal balance and triggering responses that make us inclined to homosexuality. This is not homophobia. This is a reality. Plenty of medical scientists are telling you, yo, they're purposely feeding us things that give us homosexual inclinations. They're telling us this. So since I know we live in a world where they're doing things to trigger feminine responses from males, then something like that makes me feel like it will trigger feminine responses because we're under attack, a sexual attack. We're under a sexual attack as black men. So I can't take a risk.
So I can't take a risk.
So I can't take a risk.
I cannot take a risk.
Well, what is a feminine response? What are you saying? What is it that you're saying that it will
I'll
trigger?
explain it to you again. What's the big deal about women wearing form-fitting clothes in the conscious community? It compels someone to want to have sex. That's what they say. It makes a man think about sex. I don't think there's nothing wrong with a man thinking about sex. A man thinking about doing things in a capacity like a woman, that I have to worry about. And if he's already drugged or his food is already manipulated and the media coupled with those things are all pushing him towards this sexual inclination, then I don't need the stimulus of that man's nipples being touched by no baby because we're already under a state of duress because we don't control the information, we don't control the food, and these things are being manipulated. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. If the world was sane, this is all I'm saying. If we lived in a sane world, maybe we would probably even approach this thing differently. I don't think we live in a sane world. I think we live in a world where they take these things and use it to their better advantage. So I pass. And you know what? It should be nothing wrong with a man passing on a child on his nipples. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he can do a number of other things to comfort that child. He don't have to have that child on his damn chest as though his chest can provide something better than his mother. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that in this day and time. I understand you are in you submerged in your consciousness. I'm not even telling you you're wrong. I'm telling you it's not appropriate for the era that we're in my opinion. Not telling you you're wrong.
Right.
It's too much attacks that we're under right now as black men. We have to limit this crazy shit.
Like, thank you. Cool. And that's it. End of story. Moving forward. It's not that big of a deal.
It is a bigger deal. But I get you because you've normalized the experience and the connectivity to children. So I got it. I'm not confused about you.
Right.
What I'm saying is the damn man is confused.
Well, I get you're saying that this is risky behavior. It can be very
High risk.
risk.
High risk. Especially in 2016. You're not going to really sell to too many people. A man having a child suck from his nipple. Because let me tell you this. If he can't even use his nipples in the capacity in which women use their nipples, he has no damn business having that child's mouth on his chest as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but he can pacify that baby with his nipple.
There's other ways to pacify a
right,
child.
but
Like give him to his mama.
But he just said like the mom wasn't around.
So
like,
then
the previous example, saying the mom was around, or you know what I'm saying, like as opposed to just using a
Yo, listen,
pacifier or a bottle.
Let me say something.
So when they're like, oh no, it's only safe for you to suck on this plastic, then it's for you to fill on my skin.
There's plenty of occasions where the parents may not be around children, and the adults that are around those children and those parents are missing. Hold that L. It's just some things you just ain't gonna do when the parents are missing. You just wait until the parents come back.
You can't.
That's life.
For example, my mom, I
That's
told my
life.
mom, I was like, Mom, is Shannon just
I'm not gonna have a stranger do some shit because I'm not around. So the
Why
stranger
does it
said,
gotta be a stranger?
hold on.
There's plenty of occasions where the parents may not be around children, and the adults that are around those children and those parents are missing. Hold that L. It's just some things you just ain't gonna do when the parents are missing. You just wait until the parents come back. You can't. That's life. For example, I was like, Mom, is Shannon just... I'm not gonna have a stranger do some shit because I'm not around. So the stranger said, hold on.
There's plenty of occasions where the parents may not be around children, and the adults that are around those children when those parents are missing, hold that L. It's just some things you just ain't gonna do when the parents are missing. You just wait until the parents come back.
You can't.
That's life.
For example, my mom, I
That's
told my
life.
mom, I was like, Mom, if Sharon just
I'm not
crying,
gonna have a stranger do some shit because I'm not around. So the
why
stranger
they gotta
said,
be a stranger?
hold on, I'm just gonna,
I seen this in the Fatal Attraction movies, and suddenly the babysitter's breastfeeding the damn baby, and everybody's like, oh, what the fuck is that? Because we know that's crazy. But hey, the mother wasn't around, so I decided to do it. No, don't breastfeed my child because the mother's not around. What? You sound like you are just trying to win a damn conversation, because guess what? Ain't no stranger titty going into my child's mouth.
It's not a stranger, but if you have like,
I'm talking about a stranger. I'm not.
cousin,
You see, this
mother.
is how the argument starts. I just said I'm talking about a stranger.
Why would you leave a stranger with your? Why would you leave your baby with a stranger?
Like people do this all the time.
You sound like you are just trying to win a damn conversation, because guess what? Ain't no stranger titty going into my child's mouth. It's not a stranger, but if you have like, I'm talking about a stranger. I'm not. You see, this is how the argument starts. I just said I'm talking about a stranger. Why would you leave a stranger with your? Why would you leave your baby with a stranger? Like people do this all the time.
you sound like you are just trying to win a damn conversation because guess what? Ain't no stranger titty going into my child's mouth.
It's not a stranger, but if you have like,
I'm talking
you have
about a
relative,
stranger. I'm not.
cousin,
You see, this is
mother.
This is how the argument starts. I just said I'm talking about a stranger.
Why would you leave a stranger with your? Why would you leave your baby with a stranger?
Black people do this all the time.
It's called school and daycare and pre-K and all of that. Those are strangers.
Got it. Understood.
We don't use that. You feel me? But I'm talking about these people who are out there that may be using part of that matrix. We don't live that life.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of what you're talking about is normalized because you live in the life, so your perspective and everything is so broad. But the average brother and sister, they dropping their children off to strangers and they're going to work.
Understood.
And they learn those people in time. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I wouldn't trust them to say when I'm not present, try to take on some of my role. That's like, watch this.
Oh wow, they done hooked you up.
That's like when some people say, how you think you got the right to beat my child? I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
They take it upon themselves, hit your child. Then we say, man, we give you the right to do that. I can do that. You're not gonna lay your hand on my child. So in that same manner, I'm saying that a man is a stranger to that domain. And considering all the sickness taking place today, let me tell you this about my children, y'all. Let me talk to y'all and tell you where I'm coming from. Now, trust me 1,000%, but I've only washed up my baby girl, probably 3 times in my life. And that's because I just absolutely had to wash up. You know why? For me, I don't want to see my baby girl naked. I helped deliver her. She came into this world. That was probably 1 of 4 times that my baby I've seen naked. Now, that doesn't mean black men can't wash their babies up or see them naked and wash them up. Of course, single fathers. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean you can't. But in my world, if I got all these women around me, I would just rather not see my daughter naked. I don't care if she's a baby.
Understand that if there's multiple women around, then that is something that they can do.
Yeah, you don't need my nipples, and I don't need to be watching my baby.
There should be no shame associated with a father who does in fact wash his daughter.
Baby, we're gonna disagree with that, so we just move forward. Shame on you. If your ass got your... No, I'm not shaming him for that. I'm shaming.
It's either inappropriate or it's not.
I'm shaming the man who puts that damn baby's mouth on his lip. I'm shaming his ass. I'm shaming him every damn day to me. He could be a single father. I used an example that was valid, but I am not about to allow no damn man in no doctrine or no community to have a baby's mouth on his nipple. We passing on that. That's never gonna happen. That's a sick. I'm about to use bad words. Let me chill out. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry you had to see this. But you see, we debate up in here. We debate. We keep it real. We keep it real here. We can't play games over here. But to our preference, we don't send them to no daycares, no pre-K. Our children stay with their mothers 24/7. Damn near 24/7.
Yeah.
It is a rarity. If you see one of our children that height, that age, separate from their mother, we work hard to make sure that connectivity stays there until a healthy period in their life where they can start distinguishing themselves separate and different from their parents and be part of the world and adapt and learn new social abilities. I just want to put it on for the record that I don't entrust that behavior, especially in 2016.
Right, for the most of our people who we struggle with that mindset, that it becomes something other than just a simple act of pacifying. I get what you're saying.
You know, it's just dangerous. It's just dangerous. If they're single fathers, I disagree with a lot of that chaos. But at the same rate, as a black man, I'm still gonna have restrictions on myself because I'm a black man. I'm a man. Move the race out of it. As a man, I feel a certain. As a man, I better get me a woman in my life. That's what it is. I'm not gonna make it.
You need to be a super nurturing, soft individual.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let me explain something to you. This is where single women go wrong, and this is where single men will go wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong if a man is in the bed with his baby girl and he's a single father. What I'm saying is, if you were in a space where you had a whole family, would you do certain things? And if you wouldn't do certain things with the whole family, you have to consider how much is too much as a single parent. And what you need to do is commission yourself to get the opposite sex involved as soon as possible before you break those lines. That's what I believe. Even from the women disciplining the young men. A man can only take a black woman yelling at him for so long before you break in his spirit in a way where you may effeminize him or he be conditioned to being yelled at. That's why the rule in the house, here. What's rule number 1 in our household? The women can't raise their voice at the young men. And the men can't raise their voice at the young ladies. It cannot be seen, even if we disagree. I cannot get caught once yelling at my wife in front of baby girl. We don't, because that's learned behavior. And our children are likely to pick someone reminiscent to that of their parents, even if they have bad relationships with their parents. So if our children, this is true, you're right. So if our children see us behave like that, they're likely to adopt a relationship likened to that of the likes of what they've seen their parents do when they interface with each other. So if I'm yelling at my wife when I'm angry, and she learns to just maintain a relationship with me even though I'm yelling, at her to get my point across, then it's very likely my daughter will learn to let a man yell at her to get his point across. So no, we're not gonna practice that. But guess what? If you're in a single family household and you're handicapped because you're missing the other gender, then you're gonna have to adopt personality traits that you should not have in the first place. But unfortunately, you are handicapped because it's one instead of two parents, opposite sex. So what we gotta do as single parents is work that much more harder to get the other gender in place, even if it's not an intimate relationship.
Don't put that in your mouth.
Even if it's not an intimate relationship, you should strive to have your children have some kind of mentors or be in some kind of programs or be around positive figures to fill the void that those children will be missing, so you don't overcompensate as a single parent and be in error for doing too much. You understand what I'm saying? You could do too much if you're out there not working with another gender to raise the child. You can wind up breaking the lines. These lines don't always have to be pedophilia and molestation. It don't have to always go that deep. It is not healthy. We need balance. We need to get as much male and females involved as possible when we're raising the children. Very important.
All right, y'all. We live in the building. Let's go. Let's go. We live in full effect. All right, now. Let's go. That's my fault on the delay. I had to get my goddamn hair together. Had to get my hair together. All right. All right. Let me look for. Boom. All right. We jumping straight up in this. We jumping straight up in this. I'm waiting for the I can't hear you yet. The sound. Okay, you straight now.
Okay, now we got it.
All right, I'm sorry for the delay. I had to get my hair together.
I said, I got kids, right? We are working on a real live schedule. I was like,
right.
He's not bothering me.
I'm sorry, family. But y'all, you know what? Let me lean back so y'all can see me. We here, we in the building. So we gonna jump straight in this because we on schedule time. Okay, but today, okay, is the exclusive. All right, this is the BBC, CNN, CBS interview. All right, I'm about to get Journalist of the Year for this. And so, Miss Wright is here to tell her story to us, okay, in regarding her experience with Brother Polight. So, we've been waiting for this so much. I'm not gonna wait no longer. I'm just gonna let her jump right out the gate and come straight out the gate with story time. So there you go, bam, here we go.
Okay, so let me just kind of share the timeline a little bit and then kind of tell you guys when shit got real funny, when things started kind of making sense to me. And then we'll probably have tons of questions and stuff like that. All right, boom, here we go. So I even pulled out my receipts. This is my old phone. Ooh.
She got her receipts. I got my popcorn. Okay. Let's get on it.
Okay, so let's just start with it was like March or May of 2016. I'm trying to log into my Instagram. I'm acting up because they sent me the code and here it is. I'm messing up already. And he had sent me a DM. So it kind of like I think he was following me, and then I had liked a post or something like that. He ended up sliding in the DM just saying like, hey, should I make this more accurate? Should I read it, or should I just kind of give a...
However you want to do, you got the floor. I mean,
it was just quickly like, you're amazing, love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you. I was like, and I said, honored, love what you're doing. It's amazing. Keep spreading the knowledge, because I had a chance to kind of check him out. Keep spreading the knowledge, right?
Right.
Shortly after that, I want to say maybe a month or something, he invites us to Disneyland. So he invites Shannon and me to Disneyland, pays for it. We meet up at where he was living, and we all took a Sprinter to Disneyland. Paid for like stuff. It was hot as fuck, I think, at the time, so we didn't stay long. But in that time, he was like, hey, like, love your teaching. I love a woman that teaches, you should blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, we can get on the YouTube and kind of, I'll talk about maternal consciousness, because we were like, how do we want to like package that? Like, what do we say? And that's where increasing maternal consciousness came up. It was like, wow, that's exactly what I do. That was I called that. I was like, I was just like maternal mother and maternal consciousness. I was like, oh, increasing maternal consciousness. Boom. That's how that came up.
Okay.
Then he did at one point send me a DM that says, hey sis, I would like to talk to you about joining the family. Damn, I feel like I need to read that one. Hold on.
This is Receipt City. This is Receipt City. Y'all know what I do.
So I'm gonna read that to you. Damn, sorry. Because it was smooth, but I wanna, because I didn't quite understand him at first. That just kind of lets you know the type of dynamic that we had. It wasn't like,
no, definitely, because we got a lot of misunderstandings in the comments.
now I gotta scroll up.
I hope y'all got y'all shit. I hope y'all at home, you know what I'm saying, prepared for this interview, because this about to be a bumpy ride.
All right, so March 19th, 2016. Boom, here we go. This is when he first reached out to me. Peace, sister, you're truly courageous and uniquely demonstrate an African aesthetic that many of our people are apologetic about. I would like to know if I can have the honor of interviewing you about your perspectives on sexuality and retrospect to young ladies and women. So he first reached out to me on some, let's do an interview. We never did that interview.
Right.
But eventually he sends me all his videos and I'm like, oh, that's cool. What are you guys doing? Hanging out. This is after Disneyland. So then he says, thanks so much. Miss you and baby girl. I would love for you both to be a part of this family. Please let me know how you feel. I said, join your family? Like, hey. Shannon, Satori, be quiet. Wife, I was like, join your family like wife, and we do the grown up and stuff, and you're like Shannon's dad join, or are you talking about new covenant join? Or simply like sister, auntie, family, and I can come over whenever I want and we do family holidays and shit together. This is real shit. He said, of our community, of course. However, I would love to father Shannon and do the grown-up thing with you. You're amazing. I'd be lying if I said I don't want to be with you. It would be an honor. I love every quality about you. That's number one on the list now. Whichever one makes you most comfortable and suits you best, all the way. So I was like, all right, we can talk or whatever. So we end up talking about it, and I'm like, I'm not really like, I understand polygyny, like, I get it, but I don't necessarily like vibe with that. And I keep in mind, I had already been over his house. I had already thought things were looking a little weird and funny. I wasn't interested. I don't find him physically attractive, which
See, I was about to ask you that. I was about to ask you, you know, do you believe, I don't want to be rude here, but I was about to ask you, do you think Polight, you know, because according to majority rule, Polight is not a good looking guy. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to ask you that, you know, was you know, him sliding in your DMs, was that ever something that slid across your mind? Like, wait a minute, my nigga, you kind of ugly.
I said I knew from the gate I never found him attractive. So I never wanted to do him. I didn't want him to do me. I didn't want us to interact in that way. And at the time, I was, in all honesty, I was getting taken down by a young Nigerian at the time. So, and it was working out pretty okay for me. So I was like, all right, cool. So, and that was cool. So we would like kind of just chat. We would get on, I would go over there, hang out because it was fun. He was like, oh, let's go here. Let's eat here. Let's get on live and talk about this. Let's get on live and talk about that. So literally a lot of days out of the week, about maybe, I want to say a good 4 days when we first started getting together, 4 days out of the week, I would get up, I would drive all the way to LA because we lived in this really expensive apartment complex in LA. So I would get up, I would drive to LA and in Beverly Hills. It was considered Beverly Hills. And we would lecture or we would just talk because he gets on live. And this is my first time being introduced to that community. Like that was never my community. It wasn't something I get up and cater to every day. So that was kind of what we did. Now, let's see where I remember the time when he did talk about he was getting all of these houses, this land, and he was gonna start asking for people to move into and like to purchase and like invest in. And I remember him saying to me at one point, he was like, oh, he's like, you got 3 jobs? Like, nigga, no, you see my life. And at the time I was living like a small one bedroom apartment. And he's like, she's like, oh, it sucks, you know, you should be blah, blah. I was like, oh, I ain't got it. I was like, plus I have already become aware of a lot of different types of mortgage fraud. And I think that's why he didn't push it to me. So I had kind of like backed up from that space and he just never bothered with me after that. So that was that. Now, let's see. There was a lot of things that were funny. So now let me just kind of, that was literally just the base. Every day I would go home. Satori, you can get up. You're okay. Now, another disclaimer, I'm a real life present mother, so you guys are going to have to kind of like maneuver with me in motherhood.
No, everybody's real familiar that you display a great deal of motherhood. We wouldn't care if you had to go change the diaper. We will be right here eating this popcorn, waiting patiently. So we would.
Cool. So, let me also say, so I would get up, I would go over there. At no time did I ever spend the night in his small 2-bedroom apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment.
Because I got to, before you get there, I got to ask you too.
Hey!
Okay. I got to ask the question. We in the hot seat now. Can you describe?
Wait.
Listen, y'all. We're going to get to the bottom of it today. We're going to get to the bottom of it today. Y'all want some popcorn? Okay, so can you describe the living arrangement, right? And what didn't seem quite normal, you know?
Okay,
in your mind.
So when I first kind of like was scrolling through the Polight stuff, I was like, okay, like the videos and him talking about, you know, Rolls Royce this and celebrity that and money this and having all the money or whatever. I was like, okay, keep in mind, I didn't grow up poor. For those who like know my life, I know most of my followers know my life and my upbringing. I grew up in the entertainment industry, and having nice cars and a big home is not something that's foreign to my life. I've experienced a lot of these nice things in my life. So when I and that didn't impress me, not even a little bit. So let me tell you the first time I showed up. When I first time I showed up and I went inside, I was like, this is a really small apartment. It was very small. The bedrooms were small, and it's 5 of them in there. Hold on, it's Polight, Amonette, Renatette, Wright, and my aunt, right? So, and it was only 2 bedrooms. Now I'm thinking, okay, so I remember when I first walked in, I was like, okay, this is really small. It was really small, and to me, it wasn't the most kept home, personally.
And by because we want to, I want the people that put by kept, we mean cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes. Now,
Okay.
they don't get me wrong. There were times I was over there, and they would hire a cleaning person to come and clean up their home, so that made sense. But I was like, all these wives, and
I, this is just me. This ain't you saying that, but this is just me. Being me. If you gotta hire a cleaning person to clean up your home, that means you don't clean up your own goddamn home. And so, I don't know if they do or they don't. But this is just me throwing that out there. I'm not paying nobody to do adult duties that I should be doing. And so, that's a little suspicious to me. But I'm gonna let you continue on.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't necessarily the most kept to me. But it didn't matter because I wasn't living there. And it also didn't matter because I wasn't dating the guy. I wasn't having sex with him. We weren't kissing. He's never seen me naked. It was never this type of setup. We literally I would come over there, we'd hang out, and we became very good friends. I respected him, as most of us who run across Brother Polight who are not yet aware of his scandals and the way that he harms the community. It was more so like, wow, he's a good teacher, and I was supporting him 110%. Like, I would go over there, like, all right, let's go live, or what are you guys doing? Or we could hang out, and we would get green drinks every day. And talk about like how I need to become vegan, because I'm not vegan, even though everybody wants me to be vegan. I'm not vegan. So that was so the living arrangements were really interesting, and I always wondered where my aunt slept, and that is his youngest daughter. Because sometimes I come over there, she'd be getting up from the couch while everybody else is in the bed, and I just thought that was weird, because it was like, I'm pretty sure she would sleep with whoever whenever she felt necessary, but it just was interesting for somebody that you saw with tons of money. I just could not make sense of the sleeping arrangements and the living arrangements, unless they technically wanted to be very, very close. And then, like I said,
that's a little too motherfucking close for me.
It was really close. And then also, I kept trying to make sense of it because I just believed that he was a good person. So I was like, oh, he probably does this for financial sense, because that apartment building is actually really expensive to live in. It's very expensive to live in, but I have my own theories about why they were there and who was actually paying for it or whatever. So that's one thing. Here's where it started getting real funny for me, right? Because we were just hanging out. He'd be like, oh, they're gonna watch the girls. Let's go to the studio, and they're gonna stay. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I remember when he started expressing real interest for me, but I was just like, I'm not really into that. I don't really know. He was like, you'd actually be very perfect for it. You fit in well. The wives like you. And I remember the one time Aminette had already assumed that we were having sex, because I guess they figured I was a great fit for the family. So he told me that at first they would have to ask. He would have to ask and not be okay, like permission. And then it would be like, oh, but I guess because we were all hanging, they just assumed like for sure they're having sex.
What?
I don't know. Let's see what else. Okay, so thank you, Claire. Here's what started getting really interesting. The first thing we started doing was lectures. We started to try to put together. He's like, all right, let's start making money, because at the time I had no money. I had little to no money, and he was just like, I can support you. I can assist you in this life. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do that. lecturing something easy. I love talking about breastfeeding. I love talking about the consciousness of breastfeeding. I love talking about the spiritual benefits of breastfeeding. I love talking about the attachment that breastfeeding does. I love talking about baby wearing. Everything that brings back to like ancestral magic, right? Ancestral magic that supports the connection between mother and child. I can do that. I can do that all day. I eat, breathe, and sleep that. It's part of my downloads and my ancestry. It's part of my genetic coding, right? So I would get up there and I would talk about it. So the first one we were supposed to talk about. So the first thing we're supposed to do. So real. Okay. So the first thing we're supposed to the first event we were supposed to do was Long Beach. There was a Long Beach event, and we were supposed to speak there together. Now, I had an arrangement in Canada that I was supposed to do, but they were very slow to respond on like my flight arrangements and my hotel arrangements. So he had suggested like, oh, you should cancel that because we don't even know like where you're going, you know, or who's going to pick you up. They're like not taking care of that. So we used a form called like quid pro quo, I believe, or something like that, because it was like less than 24 hours. They wanted me to try to get on a plane. I didn't have no information. I'm like, what? And it was cold. So we dropped that. And then so we decided I'll just do the Long Beach gig. Initially, at the time, my speaking fee, this was what, almost over 2 years ago, my speaking fee was $3,000. And they're like, well, let's just do half or like $1,300 because this is what he told me. He's like, they only got like $1,300 for you. He's like, had we been able to get you sooner, then you would be able to like get your full fee. I was like, it's cool. It's no big deal. I'll support. No, $1,500. I was like, I'll do it, whatever.
Right.
So we go, he said, I'll get the money as soon as I'm done. No problem. We do the lecture. It was really good. He sold some books. Oh, and in that time between I met him to the lecture, I was receiving messages here and there. People would say to me, hey sister, can you, I haven't heard from Brother Polight. I bought a book. I haven't received it. Oh, I bought this. I haven't received it. I did get that a few times. And he was like, oh, just forward them to me. I was like, no problem. I would forward them to him. I would screenshot, like, hey, this came up in my message. Make sure you take care of this person. I would do that. So by the time we did the lecture, right? We do the lecture. I don't get paid. A week later, I'm still not paid. A week after that.
Because I want clarity here. Because I'm forgetting that I can chime in because I'm so entranced in the damn story. So I want everybody to understand here. So at this point in time, you was told that you would receive $1,500 to speak at this event.
Yes.
By Brother Polight. You spoke at this event and you did not get paid.
Yes. And he told me Long Beach was going to give me the money. Like, because they had given him a lot of money to do all kinds of things. So I was like, okay, because they had the budget. This is what he's like, but they only got $1,500 for you. Cool, no big deal, I'll take it. So we do that. I did, like I said, I spoke, I received no money. A week later, I still received no money. He told me, oh, they're gonna give you next week. No money. Oh, they're gonna give you next week. Nothing. At this point, I was like, and this time I had seen them, they had come up to one of my events, like just a mommy type event. And I didn't say anything because Polight had already told me that he spoke with them and that they were going to get it to me next week. So I was like, okay, cool. He's like, they're running it through administration. They've been holding off on the funds. This is all the stories that he's telling me about why Long Beach has not given me my $1,500. So sorry, I'm like, what do you need? Go to sleep. So I then write to him. I'm like, hey, you told me this, you told me that, you told me I was gonna get my money, and I still haven't received it yet. What's up with that? Here, take that. Go be great. Goodbye. So, is that better? So he doesn't give me my money. He then tells me, oh, I'm sorry, always had an excuse. Finally says, oh, give me your PayPal right now. They're going to have someone send it to you right now from the school. This is what he told me. From the school, someone's going to send you the money. I said, okay. I went ahead and gave them my email. This is a whole month later. It's a whole month later. And whole month later, they end up giving me, sorry, I'm listening to you smacking on the popcorn. I'm like getting lost in the comments. Let me
Oh, you know what? I will, listen. Let me put the popcorn.
No, enjoy the popcorn. I like got caught up in the comments. So then I was like, all right, cool. I went to, oh shit, okay.
Boom.
Gave me the PayPal.
Right.
The PayPal. So I end up giving them a PayPal. I get a PayPal of $1,500, and it wasn't like donation based. I said make sure it's donation, so I get all of my $1,500.
Right.
It doesn't come through in donation. It comes in as a service, right? Which is fine. So they took like $50 tax out. He said I'm gonna get it back to you. I said I doubt it, because you've been playing games. Right. And I have all this in text message, because I'm like, yo, come on, like, what's the deal? So, because I was getting frustrated with him. So so I get the $1,500, and then we were supposed to do Canada and Baltimore. Right. He had just left Baltimore. We were supposed to do an engagement with Baltimore. I was supposed to also get a deposit and then my money. Canada, deposit, and then my money. I followed up with the Baltimore people, because I'm like, yo, I was asking for Polight. I was like, where's my deposit, Polight? Where's my deposit, Polight? At this point in time, I started kind of like distancing myself from hanging out with them as much, because I was already seeing things that, like, I was like, why did he say he got this and he do that? And I never thought he really owned that car, because he never had it. And none of them drive. They all catch like Ubers everywhere, which I thought was really weird all the time. So I was just like, okay, no big deal, right? So I went to,
I mean, I will find that weird too, on the account of on the account of the fact this nigga always on the Instagram acting like he's driving something exclusive. So I would find that weird too.
No, they would never drive anywhere. It was always an Uber. I was like, well, why don't you guys just drive? Or why do I have to? And I'll never forget the time Halloween came around. I was so pissed, because they're like, you should come, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm tired. I don't really feel like driving all the way out there. It's like, come hang out with us, blah, blah, blah. I ended up going out there. I was like, all right, fine. I'll come hang with y'all. I pull up, and they started getting in my car. And I was like, no, I don't want to drive nowhere. So I had an attitude. Polight was like triggered, because I was not being very friendly. And I was like, yo, I don't want to be out. Like, why am I driving? I'm tired. You guys got me out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like whack. Eventually, we end up communicating about it, and we end up being in better space. I was like, you know, let me just make the best of this, because whatever, right? Move forward. Baltimore, I never received my deposit. I finally got frustrated with Polight, so I decided to call up the Baltimore promoter that was on the flyer myself. I said, hey, I was like, this is Ashley Wright, Miss Wright's Way, the one who's coming to speak with Polight on this day, etc. I was like, what's up with that? And he was like, I was like, I haven't received my deposit yet, so I'm kind of just trying to, I was like, it's like, what, next week? And you guys haven't given to me, just trying to follow what's going on. He's like, oh yeah, I remember I talked to Polight. He told me he told you that, yeah, we don't have it. We don't have the money. He's like, he just came out here, but we're gonna give it to you when you hopefully we can get it at the door. And then we're gonna try to pay you at the door. I said, he said after you lecture, because hopefully we'll have it, we'll acquire enough. And he was like, and I told him that, and he said that it was all good, that you guys were gonna come, and it was okay, you know. He's like, but he's like, the ticket sales are slow right now, because he was just here and it's very cold. He's like, it's really cold, so it's trying to like get people out in the cold, because it's winter time. I was like, he's like, but I told him that. We had a whole conversation about it. I was like, oh, okay. And I just listened. I didn't even tell him that Polight never told me. I just listened. I then called up Polight. I said, hey, Polight, what's up with my deposit?
My motherfucking,
he was like, oh,
my motherfucking money. Right.
He was like, oh yeah, it's coming. He's like, I got it. He's like, they said they're gonna give it to you as soon as you get off the plane. I said, oh yeah, they're gonna give it to me as soon as I get off the plane. He was like, yeah, it's gonna come. He's like, we already had it scheduled. Well, as soon as you get off the plane, it's gonna be there. Now, keep in mind, I had already told Polight, I was like, okay, this is not making sense. Now, I already knew that he was lying because I just talked to the promoter. So I knew he was lying. I never even told Polight that I knew he was lying. I just listened to him because I was like, okay, this is a man that's full of shit. I was like, and he's fucking with my brand. So, and that's when shit started to get really bad. I was like, now he's told 2 spaces that I'm going to show up and I'm not going to show up. I was like, and now this is when it had to stop. And at the time, this is when I was also dating my child's father. So Satori's father. I was dating Music, and me and Music had lots of conversation. He'd be like, you need to stop talking to that nigga because that nigga's fucking your shit up. Like, this doesn't make any sense. We already know that doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. I'm like,
that's right.
Like,
if I could chime in for 2 seconds, I'm glad you said that, because around this time, you know, maybe not known to your knowledge until after, I was on Polight neck. And so when I synced you with him, it automatically, I'm sorry, somebody had called me. I had to decline it.
okay.
Y'all stop calling my motherfucking phone and y'all see me on live. Don't do that. But with that being said, when I had first synced you with Polight, in my mind, that had automatically made me say, what? Because I'm like, anybody who is friends with Polight, not saying you, but at the time, I'm like, automatic scumbag. Because Polight is a scumbag. So you definitely right about that was messing with your brain. And this is why, you know, just a message out there, y'all. Y'all got to be careful with who y'all associate with. But I'm going to kick it back to the goddess because we on time. Let's go.
Okay. So, yeah, so I already knew at that point, I was like, I'm not going to Baltimore. So, and at the time I had a follower who wanted to come to Baltimore, and I told her, I was like, I'm not coming to Baltimore. And in the DMs, and she was like, wow. I was like, because Polight didn't get my damn deposit. I was like, they didn't have my money, so I'm not going. And Music, you know, being a person who's about his money, and he's like, they don't got the deposit, they don't get no show. He's like, they ain't got the deposit, they don't get no lecture, period. You're not showing up. That's it. The deposit comes first. If you don't got a deposit, you don't go. And at the time, I kept trying to make sense for Polight shit. I was like, well, maybe I should, because I don't want to drop the ball on the people, and people are coming up to see me, and I feel bad. And he was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. You're going to take. So then Polight tries to book my flights last minute, and he buys a Spirit ticket for me, Shannon, and him. I was like, I already told you I'm not getting on no flights with Spirit and my child to fly 6 hours. I was like, call me bougie. I don't care. I don't do Spirit flights.
That's right.
I was like, and he had tried to cover my suitcase or something like that, and etc. It was like, no, I'm not doing it. So I didn't end up going to Baltimore. Same thing with Toronto, with Canada. I ended up reaching out to, his name was Vic Soleil or something like that. His name was Vic. I emailed this brother. I said, hey, what's going on with my deposit? You were supposed to have done A, B, C, D, F, G. This man had already bought these tickets, but I was supposed to receive my deposit, which was half. I was like, where is my $1,750? I was like, I haven't received it yet, because now at this point I just started contacting promoters and trying to figure out like what the hell's going on, because I had made it very clear that these are my terms, because we were being booked as separate entities. We weren't being booked like together. My money doesn't go to Polight. My money was supposed to come to me. I had not received it, but I was allowing him to be the communicator, the in-between man.
Correct.
So I was like, all right, cool. I sent him a good email. We ended up having phone conversations, and I was like, I don't know if you know this, brother, but I said, I was like, I am not one of his wives. And I don't, and this thing, he's like, yes, sister, I know, I'm aware, blah, 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 this and that. He's like, but we already bought these tickets, and et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, well, you're going to have to get those back from Polight, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you, because this business is faulty. This is some shady business, and et cetera. So after this is the second time that I could not show up for something because I didn't receive my money, then I said, well, I can't do this the third time, because now I said, I look unreliable. I look bad. And we just dropped it. Now at this point, I was moving further along in my relationship with my youngest child's father. He had then asked that I live with him, so I moved to Georgia. I moved to Georgia beginning of 2017. January of 2017, I moved to Georgia. So all within a short amount of time of me meeting Polight and working with him was very short, because at the time I had Net Music, I spent a lot of time with them. And which brings it up. Music came to visit me in California because we were dating and we were still keeping it under wraps. But I was like, he's like, oh, so you were, I said, yeah, you want to meet him? We can go and meet Polight. So that's how that's how Polight met Music. I brought Music to meet Polight. And so we all laughed, we all hung out, we ate, we drank, we took cayenne ginger shots, and then we went home. Me and him went home. So so that's how that happened. Now let's talk about, I know some people have like, oh, well, why does he put titles like me and his wives? I'm like, because he didn't feel like writing Brother Polight, My Wives, and Miss Wright's Way. He just didn't do that. Obviously, it's a better title to write Polight and Wives. Talk this.
And also,
and
also, you know, I would like to add that he did that for clickbait, because
yes,
he knows. That's right. He knew that he had somebody of stature in the video, and it would look cool. It would look cool to act like, you know, you was his wife or whatever. And so, you know, y'all gotta know that people do these titles on YouTube all the time. It's called clickbait. But I see him. I'm a block him as soon as I see him again. But yeah, that's definitely called clickbait, y'all. So y'all gotta be on point with that. And I'm gonna let her keep it kicking. I just wanted to chime in there because
now keep in mind,
I need to know the little tactics.
Now keep in mind, I told you guys I met him in March. In April 2nd of 2017, I'm already telling somebody, a friend, like that I was not going over there or doing anything, and I wrote to them, Polight didn't handle my bookings well. No hate for the brother, but I don't do business with him at all. Oh, that's April 2007. Never mind, that's way back. That's past then. Somebody was off. Anyways, let me try to find these old receipts so I can then move on to like when the whole Tommy Sotomayor and all the other kind of stuff came up.
That's right. Take your time.
Cause that's a good one.
Yep. Take your time. Cause I'm about to chime in. Look at my popcorn. See, this was y'all ever see that timer where the sand be running out? This was the same time my popcorn gone. I'm finna get what? See, I was in the tomb like this, eating popcorn and shit. Now I'm coming out the motherfucker.
So I think the first thing that happened was okay, so here it is where you have to cancel my flight. So December 16, 2016 was when he sent me Spirit Airlines flight, and he was like, I will cancel a flight for you and baby girl. Oh, keep in mind, he acts like he didn't know or he doesn't have anything to do with this, like he had no clue. So he was like, I will cancel the flight for you and baby girl and just have the fee on credit with the airlines. I know you're uncomfortable with going. I will still bring you back monies on the strength, which he did not. I have to make some kind of decision, not so if your phone is messed up. I have called over 6 times because at this point I was like, it's a wrap, bro. Like, you're playing with my brain, you're playing with my life. This is not cool. Please touch base when you can. But at that point I was just like, I'm just not going to work with the guy because this isn't cool. Now let's move to my PayPal schedule. So I go to PayPal. All of a sudden, like 5 months later, 5-6 months later, I get a dispute. This is my first dispute on PayPal. I get a dispute that says, this lady is disputing this charge because she never received what she was supposed to get. I'm like, excuse me? Like, so I immediately respond to the dispute. I'm like, this was given for a lecture on this date and time. I sent the flyer. I sent, you know, when I was supposed to get. I said this person works for Cal State University Long Beach on behalf of the Black Student Union there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? This lady responds back, I don't know what you're talking about. You and Polight, aka Michael Nowak, were supposed to give me mortgage. We're supposed to give me real estate property, and I don't have my real estate property. I said, what? So then it became this big thing. I'm responding back. I'm like screen capturing shit. I'm like putting it in PayPal. I'm going on PayPal today. I'm sending this lady messages. And I was like, excuse me. I said, why are you asking for this money back for real estate property? I said, I don't do real estate property. I've never marketed real estate property. I've never told. She was like, you and Polight promised me that I would have real estate property. I said, you've never even spoken to me. I don't even know who you are. You know, I had the whole village looking up this lady's email and attachment to somebody. It's like, where does this lady live? Who is this lady? Is this even a real email? We could find no trace of this woman. So then it became speculation. I said, so then we started coming up with this theory. Maybe Polight is trying to get some money back from me. And he's using some fake email account to do it. Like, because it became so ridiculous. Like, unnecessarily. Anyways, I had to fight that. I then hit up Polight. I'm like, yo, this is exactly what I said on, I'll give you the date. Because it's all here.
That's right. We got receipt. Hold on, while you doing that, let me hit my theme again. Cause we gonna get some law and order in this mother. We gonna get some law and order. We gonna get some law and order in here today. See, today,
oh my God, I can't even do that because it wasn't even we can't even do that because that's not what happened. First, it was the Tommy Sotomayor thing.
Okay. Well, if we got a time jump, if we got to jump through a loop, don't worry about it. We here for the tea. Okay, I'm woke now.
Okay,
I'm
so no, we got to go back.
Okay.
So first, before it was PayPal, was the Tommy Sotomayor thing.
Okay, so let me catch everybody up just in case y'all just now coming in. Let me catch y'all up. Let me do my job as the host because I think I've been being a good host, but I've been over here eating my popcorn. So she's been telling us her story. She's explained to us how through her experiences with Polight, you know, he don't live in a mansion like he likes to act. He lives in a 2-bedroom apartment with 5 people, and potentially he could have his daughter could be sleeping on the couch. Okay? He likes to Uber. He likes to Uber everywhere, backwood in the zip. Okay? So he's not riding no Lambo or no Rambo. Okay? The majority of the time, he likes to Uber. So his little flashy lifestyle is all a facade. Now, on top of that, the most critical points here that she's made is she's attempted to do 2 speaking engagements with this man to where she was not paid for not an engagement. And so now what we getting ready to come back to, because we skipped the part, is she was getting ready to explain how, if I'm saying this correctly, Polight used her email to pursue one of his scams involving real estate. And she thought that, the person contacted her believing that her and Polight were together and that Miss Wright should be the source that she should seek out the refund for her money. And so Polight used Mrs. Wright's email without her consent, without her permission, without her cognitive acknowledgement in order to do a scam. And so before we backtrack, let me just give my 10-second opinion here. Excuse me, because I almost motherfucking died just think about how crazy this is. He had no problem sliding in your DMs when he thought he was gonna swindle you, okay? But he got a problem paying you your money. Now this seems to be a common thing with conscious niggas. Niggas wanna fill you up, but don't wanna fill up your pockets. And so that is an issue here, okay? And then to use somebody's email without their permission to scam somebody. Now, I'm going to end on this. Internet fraud is a federal crime. I can pull up the law right now. If you scam somebody over the internet, that is a federal crime. So this nigga, okay, talking about the black woman is God, the black woman is God, that, inadvertently involved this woman in a federal crime. The feds could have came to your house and said, listen, you told a motherfucker, what about some real estate, Miss Wright? And you would have been looking crazy as hell. Kids in the house, babies in the house. Y'all not even understanding how much of a trifling bitch you gotta be to put a woman in this type of position. Okay? Knowing that she handling her duties as a mother. You gonna involve her in a potentially in a federal motherfucking crime without her acknowledgement. What kind of whole ass nigga is you? But now we gonna let you double back, okay, and catch us up. But I wanted to catch everybody up and let y'all know I'm woke now. My popcorn is gone. I've been drinking my little healthy juice. Got my electrolytes. I'm in the building. Let's go.
Okay, so move on. Like by the time, like I said, January of 2017, I moved to Georgia. I was no longer really talking to Polight at all. He used to always update me. He moved, all kinds of stuff, and I didn't really care. I never responded because I was just in a different space, and I just did not appreciate how he tried to mishandle my brand that way. So April 1st, I told people I was pregnant with my youngest child's father. By that time, shortly after, it was a whole bunch of like troll things, like Tommy Sotomayor. That's my first time I've heard of him. He starts creating this scandal, right? So Polight sends me a text message on April 5th, 2017 at 2:19 p.m. And it says, you probably would believe how much people are in an uproar right now, creating pages dedicated to your great moment. At least this is one of the occasions where I am the good guy to most people, thank goodness. I was about to play victim and get donations for your abuse and public embarrassment of me, LOL. These people are so very obsessive. And I was like, them your peoples. And he was like, they always my people when they acting up. Some things will never change, LOL. Right? I ignored him. After that, I just moved on with my life. And then that's when the whole, and then there was more. So people were talking to me. Like I would occasionally get on live and I was like, yes. People were like, oh, I thought you were Polight. I was like, no, I just did this, I did that. And then he started mishandling my business. So, yeah, Shannon? Okay, wipe your butt. You can do it. I'll help you later. So then Tommy Sotomayor did this whole thing, and I was just like, explaining different stuff to people on my personal lives because his people were coming into my lives, right? Like, oh, you left Polight for music, and that was music and Polight were friends. And I was like, what? These people have no idea what they're talking about. So he reaches out to a message. He sends me another message on May 12th, 2017. It says, peace, I'm reaching out after hearing so many different things about my family and I being held in a negative light by you. I do not know how valid all these things are. I hear you may believe I have something to do with Tommy Sotomayor's disrespectful post about both our families. I don't know if this is just speculation. Now, there is an irresponsible article up that people are crediting me for. I will say this. I will send you the link to my only acknowledgement of you as it relates to music, and did this in mild response to Tommy.
That's not to cut you off, but now I have to come and back you because I don't know if you've seen it, but Polight was live one day with Tommy Sotomayor. And if y'all got the clip, or if any of y'all got the recording or the YouTube, send it. Because I was watching the live stream. Polight went live with Tommy Sotomayor, and he actually gave Tommy Sotomayor your info to dog you out and was laughing. I was in the live. So I'm not saying that somebody sent me. I was in the motherfucker watching it. Tommy Sotomayor was asking for your info to pull you up, and he didn't have it.